Hi, this is Miss Terry, your instructor for the class, and I'm just going to do a short video on Chapter 1 so that you can watch it, and when you get your books you can go ahead and just start into Chapter 2 because we have a lot to learn and not much time. And Chapter 1 is just really an overview of what accounting really is, what you're going to be doing, and what type of business you're going to do the accounting for, and some jobs that you can get in accounting. So Chapter 1 starts off with the name of Chapter 1 is Introduction to Accounting. So many of you have heard about accounting before, and many of you know that it has something to do with money, or numbers, but some of you think that it's a math class. Well, it's not. I think it's easier than some math classes like calculus, trigonometry. We're not going to do any math like that. In fact, the only math we're going to do is add, subtract, divide, and multiply. And you can even use a calculator, so you don't have to be worried if you weren't strong in math. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do well in accounting. All the numbers that we use in accounting represent money, and we all use money every day. So accounting is a system that you're going to learn how to organize this money. We're going to do it through the eyes of a business. We're going to organize the money into different categories, and we're going to keep track of it, say, for a period of time, maybe a month. And then at the end of the month, we're going to make a report on where the money went, how the business did. Did it make a profit or did it lose money? We're going to know if the owner's investment has increased or grew larger, he did well, or got smaller, lost money. So we're going to be able to get a lot of information from keeping this money into categories that give us information. So I'm going to just go through the chapter with you. So we first start off and it says, accounting is a language of a business. And that just means that so many times we hear words that you're going to read about in your accounting course, like assets, liabilities. You've heard the word debit and credit before, and you already have ideas what those terms mean. But you might be surprised they don't mean what you think it means, and hopefully by taking this course you'll learn the true meaning of what those terms do mean. So you'll find out that accounting really is the language of a business. And then we go into, well, what is the purpose then of accounting? Well, I mentioned to you that you're going to keep track of all the money coming and going in a business. So we're keeping track of this money so that information can be given to the people who are interested in knowing how the business has done. And those people are users of this information. And there are 4 different types of users. We have the owners of a business. I don't know if you can see this very clearly, but the owner, let's see, is that better? The owner of a business wants to know how his business is doing, whether he wants to expand or maybe close a business if he's not doing well. We have the managers of a business who have to do the daily, day-by-day operations of business. They have to know when to order more merchandise and pay their bills and so on. Creditors, or people you might want to borrow money from, bankers, you need a loan, they're going to want to know how your business is doing and see your records. And last but not least would be the government. You have to pay taxes, and the government wants to make sure you pay them the right amount of money. So those are the users. We do this accounting information, record this process that we're going to do, the accounting process, in order to get numbers for these people, those users. So the process of accounting are the steps that we're going to take to get to that end result that I told you about. So we start off with the first thing we're going to do is analyze. Analyze is just looking at papers and invoices and check stubs and deciding that if we need to put this information in our accounting records. And if we do, the second step is we're going to record that information. We're going to write it down. The third step is after we record it, we're going to then put it in another book in different classifications. We're going to classify it. We're going to put all of the cash in the cash area. We're going to put all the different expenses we pay, like for instance rent. We're going to have a classification for expenses. We're going to put it in your rent expense, and so on and so forth. After we do this, maybe for the month, at the end of the month, we're going to summarize. We're going to add up each column and get a total. We're going to get a sum. Then after we do that, we're going to make our reports, our financial reports, and we're going to tell the results of what happened in that business that month involving their financial records. And then the report is going to be interpreted. Somebody's going to decide what those reports mean. And so the accountant, they can help interpret the results to the owners of the business. Not everyone takes accounting and understands accounting records. So accountants not just keep records, sometimes they have to explain what everything means to a person, to the owners. Then next we have what we call generally accepted accounting principles. This simply means that everyone has to do accounting the same way. The financial statements all have to be understood and be recorded the same way. And after the stock market crash in 1929, the government established a Securities and Exchange Commission so that everyone does it alike, so that the people who have stock can understand how the company that they have the stock in is doing. And then we're going to go on to the three types of ownership. So we have three types of ownership. You can have a sole proprietor. This is one owner of a business, and that's the accounting that we're going to do in our course. We're going to do the accounting work for one owner of a business. A partnership is two or more people who get together and own a business. It's done very similar to the sole proprietorship. It's just that the profits and losses are divided up into all the owners of the business. And then a corporation. A corporation is the third type, and a corporation is owned by the stockholders of business. And then we have the different types of business. And the first type of a business is going to be a service business. And a service business is the business that we're going to do the accounting for. It's the simplest form of a business. It's somebody who does a service for someone. The examples in the book here would be like a travel agency, or a physician, a doctor, it could be a mechanic. The second type of a business is a merchandising business, and this type of business sells goods, sells merchandise, like a drugstore. And then a manufacturing business is a business that makes products, like makes automobiles or furniture. And then the last thing in the chapter here, we get to the different careers in accounting. And the very starting job you can get in accounting is a clerk. And you really don't need to have much accounting to get a job as a clerk. You're just performing like you're sorting files, and you work in an accounting office, and you work under a bookkeeper or an accountant, and they teach you what to do. You don't need to know too much, really. And then the second is a bookkeeper, And that's what this course should qualify you to get a job as a bookkeeper. So you're going to maybe supervise the clerks, and you're going to maybe record accounting information. You can help summarize the information. You do pretty much all of the work, a daily, day-to-day business, accounting records. Then we have accountants, and these are, you need a 4-year degree to be an accountant. Now, a bookkeeper, you can get a 2-year degree from here at Delgado, and you can be a bookkeeper. And then accountants have a 4-year degree, so they make more money. They went to school longer. And then you could work in public accounting. So public accounting is when you work for the public. You can set up your own business with your sign outside, Jones Accounting Services. There are different specialties you can do. You can be an auditor. You can be a tax accountant. You can be a managerial service. And then there's this new field lately, forensic accounting. This is when you maybe you specialize in fraud detection, fraud prevention. You could be a witness, and it's very interesting. And then we have, let's see, also I forgot to mention about a CPA. A CPA is a certified public accountant. You take a test, and if you pass it, you can be a CPA. It's just like a promotion you get, or a title. Then there's private accountant, where you work for one particular company, and you can also specialize as a private accountant. You can work in their accounting information systems. That's with computers. You can be a financial accountant, do all their financial work. You could be a cost, and you can work with budgets and taxes. And you can be an internal auditor. And then the third type is a government accounting. You could work for the state revenue office, or you could work at the federal, the IRS, Internal Revenue. And there are many different jobs in accounting, and the opportunities are very good. And that takes us really through Chapter 1. So we're finished Chapter 1. And at the end of every chapter, they'll have a definition, key terms with all your definitions that you had through the chapter. But I'm not going to have you take a test from Chapter 1. I just wanted you to understand what accounting is and what you'll be doing. And you're going to hopefully watch this video. And then you're going to go into Chapter 2, when you're going to analyze transactions and learn about the accounting equation. And this is where you're going to start learning how to record numbers, the money. And you're going to learn what assets are and liabilities and all this good stuff. And I have a video on Chapter 2, and I hope you watch all the videos. I think they're a big help. They're very messy, I have to say. I need to redo them. It's the first time I've done videos, and I used a board to write on, and I wasn't too good. But I think I get the point across. But anyway, I hope you have a good semester, and I hope I get to meet some of you. Those are my online students. So thanks for watching this, and I hope if you have any questions, get in touch with me. Thank you. Bye-bye.